The original configuration had a bubble canopy on top like a fighter jet. In 1953, when they refurbished them, they put the roof out over the driver, because imagine as you drive this down the road, you're setting straddle the engine in a greenhouse, and it was terribly hot. It's a very unusual setup in that you set very high and in the center, not to the right or the left. As we walk up these steps, we're walking back 85 years in time. This has always been referred to as the cockpit because of its center location and the fact that originally we would have been under a bubble canopy. The controls are pretty conventional. It has air brakes. It has a rudimentary system of power steering, which helps, but setting still, you cannot turn the wheels. You do have to be moving. It has a turbo or a hydromatic transmission from the Korean War era. So it shifts automatically, even though it's old technology and it's pretty sluggish. There are 2 gas tanks in the truck, of which we only use one, and a pump for each side. And so this is for the left tank and the right tank. Same way with the gas gauge, left or right tank. Lights, throttle. Over on this side, we have the choke, the actual headlights, the clearance lights. And then we have separate toggle switches for the various running lights. We have an air pressure gauge that when we start the truck, the light's going to glow red until we build up adequate pressure. Once it's built up enough pressure that we can move, the light goes out and we can go forward. Obviously this is the windshield wiper. And the one thing that is missing in here, because at a recent show someone tried to pull it out, was a pod that was put in 1953 that sat here, and I can show you an example of one in this Cadillac, but it sensed the headlights of oncoming cars and automatically dimmed the lights, which was pretty radical for 1953. This design was heavily influenced by Harley Earl, and it was all about the appearance and the design more than the mechanical necessities. For instance, if you want to check the oil in this vehicle, I'll show you how you have to do that. You have to raise the steps, and then you crawl in on your stomach on the fender well and reach as far back as you can to reach the dipstick. Likewise, in a minute we'll show you the engine bay. You have to do a similar thing to check the transmission fluid. Again, it's the same procedure. You crawl in on your stomach, lay on the fender well, and you reach clear to the rear to reach the hydromatic so that you can check the fluid. These vehicles were purpose-built for General Motors for their own use. They were never intended to be sold to the public. When they were built in 1939, you could buy a new Chevrolet car for $700 right off the showroom floor. Our records indicate that General Motors spent $100,000 apiece in 1939 building these vehicles. We're fortunate our museum is on the National Register of Historic Places. This truck is the very first truck ever put on the National Register of Historic Vehicles. In fact, there are 2 vehicles on the National Register here in Auburn, not only the Futurliner, but the first Duesenberg sold to the public. It's next door at the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum.